Kahala Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Yahweh Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth through rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom. This is Montazat Lacham. I was just scrolling through videos and this one came across my feed. I thought it would be a good opportunity to go back into a reminder of the destruction of America. First off, I want to push fair use due to the copyright statute. As a matter of fact, I'll just go to it. The copyright statute, where is it at? I think it's in here. All right, Salakia. Boom. Copyright disclaimer. All right. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. This is about research and education. Okay? Fair use is a use permitted by its copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right? So this video is originally made for comment, criticism, education and research, and teaching. Okay, the reason why I'm lambanging off the videos is because it's got some very interesting information in it that the Israelites of the Holy Bible, who are Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans for the most part, and the Israelite foreigners that have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, need to be aware of the desolation and destruction, trouble and anguish that is coming to America. Okay, that's what people need to understand. Okay. Anyway, what a nuclear explosion looks like up close. That's crazy, but this is what's been going on. Job chapter 14 verse 5. I'm gonna start this off right there. I'm gonna go to Job, right? Job 14 verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So there is more hope of a tree that will sprout again than it would be hope for Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the devil the Bible speaks of. Okay? This devil will never rise to power again. Okay?
It starts with a blinding flash. No sound, no time to run, just light, hotter than the sun. In a heartbeat, a city disappears. Concrete turns to vapor. Shadows burn into the ground. That's the power of one modern nuclear warhead. Now, imagine 12,000. 9 nations hold them, hidden in silos, submarines, and bombers. Each one built to erase entire civilizations. They're not weapons, they're extinction machines. Let's open their arsenals and see what happens when each one detonates above an enemy city. A 9-axle transporter rolls down a lonely highway, a 3-stage missile sealed in a canister on its back. In minutes, it can be unmasked, pointed, and gone. A weapon built to make the sky unpredictable. This is the Hwasong-18, North Korea's first solid-fuel ICBM, faster to launch, easier to hide, and designed to survive a first strike. Solid propellant changes the whole calculus. Unlike older liquid-fueled missiles that need hours of fueling and support vehicles, a solid-fuel Hwasong-18 can sit ready, move on roads, and be concealed among civilian traffic, shortening warning time and complicating any attempt to preempt it. Flight tests in 2023 validated long-range, lofted trajectories and showed the potential to reach the continental United States. Now, Imagine a hypothetical Wasong 18 warhead. For illustration, we'll use about 300 kilotons, detonating over Chicago. The scene is sudden and merciless. The initial fireball would gouge out a roughly 1 to 1.2 kilometer diameter crater at ground zero, vaporizing everything inside. A devastating blast overpressure that collapses most reinforced buildings would radiate to about 3.8 to 4 kilometers, turning dense neighborhoods and parts of the central business district into rubble. The thermal pulse, searing heat able to cause fatal third-degree burns and spark widespread fires, could extend to roughly 6 to 7 kilometers, setting whole blocks alight, deep beneath the ocean's skin.
Now you have to stop and think about this. This video was made a few years ago, okay, and the information that they have, okay, it says from 2023. So these people have been constantly over and over and over again refining the uranium to make a more destructive explosion at ground zero, destroying more people, destroying more structures, destroying more property. That was just one city, okay? Thermal fireball, hotter than the sun, okay? The destructive blast that comes out of the explosion of it that drops skyscrapers to the ground. And then, in addition to that, then you have the firestorm that comes behind it with the electromagnetic pulse that wipes out all electronics, okay, in 10 to 15 or maybe even a greater distance in radius or diameter around the explosion. Then the fireball comes and consumes everything else. Third and fourth degree burns, most people don't survive that. A fourth degree burn is down passing the muscle tissue into the bone. Okay, third degree burns are, there's no skin. All you see is muscle. Okay, and most of that's destroyed. You see, that's just over Chicago, and every major city is going to get hit. I'm from Wichita, Kansas, and Wichita, Kansas is in the top 5 cities to be hit with thermonuclear destruction. Okay, the top 5 cities, and the first 5 cities to be hit, Wichita, Kansas is number 3. So we're going to have less than 15 minutes to live once they're launched. Now, don't forget about the Russian Avangard missile that can range 11,000 miles, because I think it's about 5 to maybe 7,000 miles from here to Russia. Maybe about, I don't know, an 11 or 13 hour plane trip on a commercial plane. Okay, something like that. Not sure. But, you know, okay, you got 15 minutes. This thing is traveling at speeds of, 14 to 18,000 miles an hour. Okay, that shit, yeah, it's going to get here pretty damn quick. Okay, 15 minutes tops, 12. And they've showed examples of Russia sending the missiles without thermonuclear warheads into Ukraine. How fast they hit, how quickly they hit, and destroyed the entire towns just by the detonation and destruction of the missiles when they hit. They hit so fast, so quick, people thought it was lightning falling from the sky. Okay? Didn't Yahweh himself say that I've seen Satan fall as lightning? See? Now, let's go get a biblical scripture, because that would just drove me crazy. Okay, let's go get Matthew chapter 24, verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, then shall the end come. Right? So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has already got it in for these devils. The nations are pissed, man. Okay, let's go to Joel. Where's it at? Joel. There you are. Joel chapter 3. Right? Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh's judgment. Okay, because let's go to Jehoshaphat.
Strong's H 3092. Jehoshaphat.
Okay, what's that? Jehovah. Okay, and that is the Most High. This is his name. At H 1961, that's his name, Yahweh, without those vowel points. Those vowel points underneath change the name from Yahweh to Yehovah. You see what I'm saying? And they continue to change the name. Okay, they don't want you to know the true name of the Most High. Okay, without those vowel points, those little dotted lines underneath there, if they weren't there, it would be pronounced Yahweh, Yahweh. Okay, which means the existing one, the proper name of the one true God. Okay, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the national name of the Most High. Okay, that would be his name. Most people call him what they come to be, come to pass, exist, happen. Okay, to arise, to appear, to happen, to fall out, to take place, to exist, to be in existence. Right? So these people, Jehoshaphat, Yahweh has judged. Okay? A symbolic name of a valley near Jerusalem, which is the place of the ultimate judgment. Okay? So these devils are scared, man. Okay? They are done. All right? Now, let's get back over here. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, of Yahweh's judgment, right? You just saw that. And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Okay? My people and for my heritage Israel. So that Christian doctrine, God loves everybody, doesn't work. Because the Bible is telling you, in KJV or NLT, tells you, my harming, there will I judge them for harming my people, my special possession, and for scattering my people among the nations. Okay, God is only changed it does not change. Okay, let's get it. Malachi chapter 3 verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. I am the Lord and I do not change. So these devils went so far as to change the nature of the Most High God into something more palpable, something more acceptable to human nature. They can't deal with the truth of the Most High, with what the scriptures say in reference to the Most High. They can't deal it. Okay? Drives them crazy. Now, let's go over here to, where was I at? Matthew chapter 11, verse 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent taketh it by force. Right? Now, who are those that push violence? That's all this video is about violence. Okay? From the time John the Baptist began preaching until now, the kingdom of heaven, which are the people of the Lord, Jerusalem, a people before it's a place, right, has been forcefully suffering, and violent people are attacking it all the time. Now they're trying to come up with a new attack, okay, calling it the Nipah virus, to come against the peoples of the Lord. Now, Bill and Melinda Gates stated a few years back that the vast majority of the people during the last disease X that was born of a bat in China, right? Now they're saying it's born of a bat in India. Okay, this mysterious disease that 6.5 billion people on the face of the earth had taken this jab, okay, that was supposed to be able to fight a disease that nobody had a cure for, and they just came up with it overnight and, put all of these people to sleep. Now they're suffering the consequences. People are going to sleep forever in order to be raised up on the other side right now as consequences of their actions of what they had done before. But like I said before, Matthew 11 and 12, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent taketh it by force. Right? And, that's what these Edomites have always done. They've always tried to do something to destroy the children of Israel. Okay? It's all they want to do. What was I trying to go to? Lamentations, chapter 4. Right? I'll start at verse 19. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 19. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. The breath in our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we will live among the heathen. Right? So we trusted, we went down to Egypt and trusted in the shadow of Egypt. Okay? And look what the Egyptians have done to us. Modern day Egyptians, the Babylonians, these Assyrians. All right? The kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent taketh it by force. Right? They just do anything to us, whatever they feel like it. And nobody stands in their way. Nobody says anything. Like, say, for example, you have Renee Good and you have this Alex Perry, right, that were shot. Edomite Caucasians that were shot in the street in broad daylight. Alex Perry was unalived, 5 shots in the back of the head, 6 shots in the back, point blank range. He was already subdued on the ground with handcuffs, and they shot him anyway. Renee Good was shot in the back, or in the face, and in the side of the head. Okay? These are Edomite Caucasians, right? And they're angry and pissed off at the fact that the so-called black people don't want to stand up and help them protest. We're not going to protest. We've been doing that shit for so long. We're sick and tired of it. Why don't you people handle your own goddamn problems? That's where we're at. Okay? Sorry about cussing, but, I get upset about what the evil of these devils have done amongst us and what they continue to do to our people. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz, U.S. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. Right? So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to destroy these devils from before our faces, because what they've done. Lamentations 4 and 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom, is my point, and he will discover thy sins. And the sins of these Edomites are being discovered right now through the so-called the Frankenstein files. Okay. Okay. Of presidents and other so-called high upstanding elite and governors and senators are kings and princes, right? So modern day kings and princes, governors, okay, they govern the people, okay, they're being exposed as individuals that like playing around with children, like unaliving children in order to worship false deities, right? And it's being exposed all over the internet, everywhere. Okay, let's go to, what was that? Obadiah chapter 1, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Okay, and this is what the Most High says. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, right? Is not the national mascot of America the eagle? It was made the national mascot sometime in 2025 by President Trump, right? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars. How do they set their nest among the stars, you think? Satellites, space stations, maybe, right? Elon Musk's SpaceX program, right? Though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Right? Verse 6, how are the things of Esau searched out, and how are his hidden things sought up? Okay? This is how it's sought up. We sit up, we do research in this devil and go find out what's going on. Okay? Find out what's happening. Why is he doing this shit? Right? Despised. Okay? Despised is a verb, which means to, let's go get it. Alrighty. All right. Hold on. Despised. Is it there? Hold on. Despised. Definition. Despised. Feel contempt or deep repugnance for. Okay. Hold on. Despised. Okay. What is repugnance? Okay. Can I give definition for that? Okay. Guess not. To loathe, abhor, abominate, execrate, to hate. Right? So the nations despised among, you're despised among men, despised among the nations, greatly despised. You're deeply hated, detested, loathed, abhorred. Right? Okay. Let's get to, yeah. Verse 7. Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound unto thee, and there is none understanding in them. Right? Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and the understanding out of the mount of Esau? Right? Yeah. Most High said he was going to do it. He's doing it. Okay. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 49. Right? Verse 20. Listen to the Lord's plans against Edom and the people of Teman. Even the little children will be dragged off like sheep, and their homes will be destroyed. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And B.B. Makowalski, a.k.a. Boo-Boo Nothing Not a Jew, okay, is trying to force America into the fight of the attack on Iran right now. Okay, in biblical, this all applies to biblical scripture, right, where we're reading here today. Okay, B.B. Makowalski, for the state of the Zionist state of Israel. Okay, now they're saying that if you say anything that have anything to do with the memorial of Israel, of the word Z-I-O-N-I-ist, right? Z-I-O-N-ist, right? You're preaching hate. That's bullshit. That's hate speech. What the fuck? Okay, especially in reference to the least of the flock of the Edomite devils, where the Most High has taken their wisdom and understanding away from them. Okay, they're being exposed. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. But I've made Esau bare. I've uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Right? Now we read in Obadiah chapter 1, verse 8, the Most High had taken the wisdom out of Edom, okay, and out of Teman. They don't know what to do anymore. Now we read it the first of the, okay, let me go get that one as well. Job chapter 14, verse 5. Salakia. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou, being the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, has appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Okay? Okay, because he can't go past these boundaries that the Most High has set up. Okay? Let's go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 4, okay, verse 37. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has already had this already planned out, okay, of destruction of these devils, okay. Right? Second Ezra chapter 4, verse 29. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. Right? So everything had the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has to completely destroy and wipe these devils from off the face of the earth for what they've done to the peoples of the Most High. Okay. Nevertheless, the righteous, Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 18. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things and yet shall not see the wide. Okay? That's 2/3 of our people that are not going to see the wide, meaning they're not going to see Esau's world turned upside down and the destruction thereof, of what are the consequences of the wickedness of coming against the children of Israel, where they use force and violence to destroy our people, the people of the Most High. And he said unto me, there is no judge above the Most High, and none that hath understanding above the highest. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that is set before them. Right? And the Most High, as it says in Jeremiah, as a matter of fact, I'll just go get it instead of just telling you about it. Jeremiah chapter 35, okay, verse 15 states, I have sent also unto you all my servants the prophets, rising up early and sending them, saying, return ye now every man from his evil way, and amend your doings, and go not after other powers to serve them, okay, false gods, of course, and ye shall dwell in the land that I have given to you and to your fathers, but ye have not inclined your ear nor hearkened unto me. You see what I'm saying? And that's the reason why the Most High says that 2 parts of our people have to be destroyed. In other words, for they that have done wickedly have suffered straight things, right? Have had their Esau's foot on their neck, and yet shall not see the blessings of repentance, turning back to the Lord, right? They shall not see the wide, right? For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them. The Most High sent forth his servants the prophets every time before the destruction of any kingdom, to warn the Israelites scattered amongst the heathen that live in those kingdoms. Every time that it's time to turn back to the Most High. You see? And now let's continue reading. Verse 21, for the Most High hath given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, and even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Right? And this is the punishment that they're going to receive. You see what I'm saying? Because they're hard-headed. They won't listen to common sense and reason. Don't want to. Right? Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, ain't no God. Ain't no God. Why would God do this to us? Why would God do this? Why would do that? Right? And deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, right? Where they spake against him and imagined vain things. See? And said of the Most High, speaking against him, that he is not, he ain't there, he ain't real, he don't exist, right? And knew not his ways, right? In 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, right? Verse 56 says, for when they had taken liberty, free to do as thou wilt, right? They despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. They say that the Most High God, don't exist. Isaiah chapter 30, okay, verse 8. Where am I at? Where is I? Boom, boom, boom. Says, now go and write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. See? For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, Salakia, and forsook his ways. They don't want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Moreover, they were trodden down as righteous, and said in their heart that there is no God, yep, and that knowing they must die. Okay? And this is the wickedness of our people, man. A rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. They tell the seers, stop seeing visions. Don't tell the prophets, don't tell us what is right. Tell us nice things, tell us lies. Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to cease from before us. Right? Forget all this doom and gloom. Get off your narrow path. Stop telling us about your Holy One of Israel. You see? So 2/3 of our people are going to be cut off on this side, man. And Esau, Edom, is despised, to hold in contempt, disdain, to regard with contempt, think to scorn, to be despised, to be despicable, to be vile, worthless. Right? Isaiah chapter, oh damn, I was just right there. All I had to do was just move it. Okay. Isaiah, right? Chapter 32, verse 2. And a man shall be in hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a rock in a weary land. But like it says before, 2/3 of our people, they won't listen to common sense and reason, man. That ain't gonna happen. They don't want to. Now, getting back to the nuclear destruction, okay. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 11. The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence. Right? So the Most High has sent his servants, the prophets, rising up early and sending us, like it says in Amos. Let's go get Amos. Prove all things, be instant in season, out of season. Right? Okay. Surely the Lord God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Amos 3 and 7. Surely the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. Right? And a man shall be in hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, and as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Okay? And the eyes of them that shall see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. Okay? The heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly. And the righteous 1/3 of our people are starting to turn back to the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to listen to the prophets. They're on podcasts. They're on social media platforms, asking questions. TikTok, making TikTok videos, scoffing and mocking. Okay, they're still asking questions. They just don't have the answers, and they're leaning to their own understanding. That's the heart. The heart also of the rash. You know, that's how they make themselves guilty before the Most High God, as those individuals that were going to be destroyed, left here, and melted. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Now Isaiah chapter 32, verse 8. But the liberal shall deviseth liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. Right? That's basically what's going to happen, man. The women, they are not prepared for what's coming. And it's not about this thermonuclear destruction, but it's also about the truth. Okay? Of, Jacob's trouble. They ain't got a clue. Right? 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The earth riseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, right? His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, right?
Inside the quiet holes of France's Triomphant-class submarines sleeps a missile designed to make nations think twice. Meet the M51.3, the latest evolution of France's sea-launched ballistic missile, now declared operational and built to keep Paris's oceanic nuclear deterrent relevant for decades. The M51.3 brings improved range, accuracy, and penetration aids, and is reported to carry the latest French oceanic warhead, the TNO family, in its upgraded form. Now, imagine a single M51.3 warhead. For this scenario, we'll use a representative approximate 100 kiloton TNO class yield, detonating over Moscow. The fireball would rip open a roughly 0.7 to 0.8 kilometer diameter zone, vaporizing everything at ground zero. A devastating blast overpressure sufficient to collapse most masonry and concrete structures would radiate out to roughly 3 to 3.5 kilometers, turning neighborhoods into flattened rubble. The thermal pulse, capable of causing third-degree burns and igniting widespread conflagrations, could reach about 5 kilometers, starting fires that would race through an urban tinderbox. Moderate blast damage and shattered windows, enough to collapse fragile interiors and create lethal flying debris, would extend into the 8 to 12 kilometer band, threatening millions across a sprawling metropolitan area. Radioactive fallout carried by weather could contaminate lands tens to hundreds of kilometers downwind, crippling emergency response and creating long-term exclusion zones. A convoy rumbles down a remote highway, a canister colossus riding on its back. This is the DF-41, or Dongfang 41, China's newest road-mobile intercontinental ballistic missile, built for...
It's not the newest one. They got one. Another Dongfang is Dongfang 61. It's got 61 thermonuclear warheads, and they ride on the same type of mechanical structure with wheels that's remote controlled. Okay? And they can hit America in less than 15 minutes. 25 minutes max. Right?
Range, survivability, and to punch holes through defenses with multiple warheads. Open source analysts place its reach at roughly 12,000 to 15,000 kilometers, and it's widely believed to be a solid fuel, 3-stage design, capable of carrying multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles. Mobility plus ambiguity is the strategic point.
See?
You can't be sure where they are until it's too late. Now imagine one DF-41 warhead. For illustration, the
reason why it says 61 on there is they have 61 nuclear warheads inside the missile at the cap, because you're going to see it detach. Okay? And inside that 61, they have 60 nuclear warheads that'll shoot off in different directions. And they have one hydrothermal nuclear missile, okay, that has the power of the Tsar bomber. And the Tsar bomber, I think, was the largest thermonuclear explosion detonated back in 1961 in Russia. Okay, and you could see it you could see the brightness of it at night on the other side of the world, man. They thought that the different parts of the region where they detonated it at, hell, they thought that, the Lord was coming back, more than likely. I speak as a man, but more than likely they did. I mean, with having that bright light thousands of kilometers away. The sound, the blast radius, the noise of it, shattered windows, miles and miles away, 10, 15, 20, 50, 150 miles away, man. That's just the Tsar bomber that Russia ignited. Okay, I think it was in 1961, 1963, something like that, right? So they've been practicing with using these thermonuclear weapons for a while. Okay.
Use about 300 kilotons, arriving over Los Angeles. The scene is brutal and quick. The initial fireball would gouge out a roughly 1 to 1.2 diameter crater at ground zero, vaporizing everything inside. A devastating blast overpressure that collapses most reinforced buildings would radiate out to about 3.8 to 4 kilometers, instantly turning downtown towers and dense neighborhoods into rubble. The thermal pulse, the searing heat that causes lethal third-degree burns and ignites widespread fires, could reach roughly 6 to 7 kilometers, torching wooden suburbs and setting whole districts ablaze. Moderate blast effects like shattered glass or structural damage would push well beyond into the 10-plus kilometer band, endangering millions across the metropolitan area and suburbs. Buried deep beneath the American Midwest, in silent underground silos, lies a weapon that could end civilization in 30 minutes. And it's been standing guard for over half a century. This is the LGM-30G Minuteman III, the backbone of America's nuclear deterrent. It's old, yes, first deployed in 1970, but don't mistake age for weakness. Each carries a 475 kiloton thermonuclear warhead, over 30 times more powerful than Hiroshima's bomb, and can strike targets over 13,000 kilometers away, reaching them in under an hour. Now, imagine one detonating over Moscow.
That's crazy. That's crazy destruction, right? Okay, let me. His scriptures are killing me, man. Wow. Let's go get. I was right. I was right there, wasn't I? Amos chapter 9. Verse 4? No, verse 5. Amos chapter 9, verse 5. And the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the power of hosts, is he that toucheth the land, and it shall melt, and all that dwell therein shall mourn, and it shall rise up wholly like a flood, and shall be drowned as by the flood of Egypt. Right? Okay. It is he that buildeth his stories in heaven, and hath founded his troop in the earth. He that calleth for the waters of the sea, and poureth them out upon the face of the earth. The Lord of hosts is his name. Okay? A lot of people don't get that part, man, but yeah. The Most High is gathering all nations to go down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay? Right now as we speak. Okay? EU and NATO is the mother that has been sore confounded of the wickedness of Esau, Edom over here in America. Okay. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 66. Where was we at? Right? Verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Plead. Okay, let's go get a definition of what plead means, because a lot of people think that shit is just God on his knees. Oh, please don't. Oh, no.
Strong's H, 8199.
No.
Shaphat.
Right? To judge. To judge means to destroy in biblical scripture. Okay? To vindicate. To punish. The Lord's going to plead with all flesh. He's going to punish all flesh. Vindicate the flesh of the Israelites. Right? From the evil and wickedness that was done to them. To execute judgment upon all flesh. Okay? To condemning and punishing all flesh. At theophanic advent for final judgment, all flesh. Okay? To plead. To be judged, all flesh. Okay? Avenged the flesh of the Israelites of what was done to them. Okay? By implication, to vindicate or to punish, i.e. to pronounce sentence for or against. Okay? To plead means to pronounce sentence. To vindicate by implication or punish. Okay? Ain't gonna be no begging you to do nothing. Okay? For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Let me go over here to Proverbs chapter 16. Okay? Verse 4. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yep, even the wicked, for the day of evil. Okay? Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though joined hand in hand, he shall not be unpunished. Right? Proverbs 16:9, and my point, a man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. Okay? A divine sentence is in the lips of the king, his mouth transgresseth not in judgment. See? So the king of all existence, whose name is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, has a divine sentence, okay, that has been pronounced against all the heathen nations, found in the book of Joel, chapter 3. He will bring all nations down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? Let's go get it again. Joel 3, right? Verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. To where? The valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of Yehoshaphat, the valley of the pronunciation of judgment of the Lord, right? Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And that's what this video is about. The weak saying that they're strong. France, Great Britain, and Spain were destroyed, or the three city-states, or they were plucked up by the roots. The three kingdoms that were plucked up by the roots in the book of Daniel. Okay, those are the three that were destroyed, and then what took their place was America, because, damn, I could try to explain it, but I'm gonna just keep going. Okay. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Right? So gather together in the valley. Come quickly, all you nations everywhere. Okay? Okay? Let the heathen be wakened. Come up to the valley of Yehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Now we all know what plead means. To pronounce sentence of judgment, to punish. Remember? Okay? So the Most High, that's what he's planning on doing, man. Okay? You people, yeah, you're finished. Okay? And the Most High ain't playing. He's coming back to destroy a lot of people. A lot of people ain't trying to hear. They don't want to hear, man, what we got to say. Right? Blessed is the man whom thou chastenest, O Lord, and teachest him out of thy law, that thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity until the pit be digged for the wicked. For the Lord will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. Okay? So the Most High ain't going to cast off his people no more. Okay? Because the Most High, he never did cast us off. It's just that, we needed to be punished for our continued disobedience and not keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. See, the law, statutes, and commandments were only given to the Israelites. They weren't given to all nations. So the only people that can commit a sin are Israelites, because the law was given to them. Everybody else is just doing whatever they list, whatever they want, because they have liberty and they have place of repentance is open unto them, as far as the Israelite foreigners scattered amongst the heathen nations. You see? But they come back as scoffers and mockers for the most part. 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed. The Lord will not reject his people. He will not abandon his special possession. But the Edomite nations, that's what they believe. They believe that the Most High God has abandoned his people. Right? Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. And their resting place is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the creator of the heavens, the earth, the sea, all that is therein in the foundations of water. All that found them, or the heathen nations, have devoured them, right? They've scattered them abroad, okay, and mistreated them and done whatever they wanted to for 500 years, right? And their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, right, by not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, okay? The habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. This is what the heathen nations believe, right? Let's go get to Zechariah 11, verse 5, right? Verse 4. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them. Okay. and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not. And our shepherds are the false prophets of ISUPK, IUIC, right? That have no pity upon our people, that put our people out for prey, and that they rob the fatherless, the children, of a true moral compass. Okay, fathers that probably weren't in the household, but have these individuals, these false prophets, have an opportunity to go and teach our people the way and they should go, but instead they go for the money. It's all about the bag. You see? Now, let's see. Let's go to Isaiah. That's a good one. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 5. Right? Oh, not 5. Damn it. Hold on, go back. Salakia. I'm trying to get this video done, man, but I don't know. I just keep going somewhere. It's the Holy Spirit that leads me to get all this information out. Okay. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Judgment on the day of the Lord, right? Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. They shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed at one another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. He shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
The fireball alone would stretch nearly 1.2 kilometers wide, vaporizing everything within it. The blast wave, moving faster than sound, would flatten most structures within a 4 to 5 kilometer radius. Beyond that, intense thermal radiation would ignite fires and cause third-degree burns up to 8 kilometers away. Within seconds, more than 1 million people could perish. Within hours, the city's infrastructure would collapse. Fallout would drift hundreds of kilometers, poisoning everything it touched. Hidden in the cold, dark depths of the ocean, aboard America's Ohio-class submarines, lurks a weapon so powerful it can erase entire nations without ever being seen. This is the UGM-133A Trident II D5, the most advanced submarine-launched ballistic missile on Earth. Each of the 14 active Ohio-class submarines carries up to 20 Trident II missiles, and each missile can be armed with up to 8 W.88 or W.76 thermonuclear warheads, giving the U.S. Navy a total of nearly 280 deployed Trident IIs. Each warhead can unleash between 100 and 475 kilotons of destructive power and strike targets more than 12,000 kilometers away with pinpoint precision, accurate to within 90 meters. Now, picture one W-88 warhead detonating over St. Petersburg. The fireball would span 1.2 kilometers, vaporizing everything within. The blast wave would flatten concrete structures within 5 kilometers, and the thermal pulse would ignite fires and cause third-degree burns up to 8 kilometers away. Within moments, over 1 million lives could be lost. The shockwave would roll across the Gulf of Finland. The radioactive fallout would blanket the surrounding region. A convoy melts into the morning fog, a canistered arrow on a heavy truck that could be anywhere.
Right. And that's those Russian weapons now. Okay? Okay. Hey, man, y'all need to goddamn get ready to go and go home, man. Right? 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled. Now, we just saw a thermonuclear missile from a nuclear submarine in the ocean, right? And the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. They saw an arrow they called a thermonuclear missile at the Pentagon, a broken arrow. Okay, right? And this arrow are sharp and shall not miss because they're going to go directly over their target, wherever they're going. Okay, where was that at? Joel 2, right? Right? Joel chapter 2, verse 2, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. This great people and a strong are thermonuclear warheads. Okay, this is parabolic symbology, okay, in reference to the thermonuclear missiles that are going to be shot to the ends of the world. Okay, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A lot of these false prophets and pastors and churches and ecclesiastical individuals, they go on and on about people breaking into your house and climbing in through the windows to rob you. Stupid shit. Okay, a fire devoureth before them. Right? Does a fire devoureth before people breaking into your house? No. Okay, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. It happens with a thermonuclear weapon, right? The land is as a Garden of Eden, right? There's no destruction. You got buildings. Everybody's doing whatever they're doing, whatever, cars going back and forth to work, people at work, whatever, right? The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yep, nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Now, this appearance of horses and horsemen are the horsepower from the jet power of the engines that carry these missiles into the windows of heaven, which are the sky above us, over to other continents. That's the reason why they're called intercontinental ballistic thermonuclear missiles. Let's get that. Intercontinental ballistic missile. Boom. There's one. An intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, is a guided long-range weapon designed for nuclear delivery with a minimum range of 5,500 kilometers, approximately 3,400 miles. These missiles travel at speeds up to 15,000 miles per hour, Mach 23. That's pretty goddamn quick, right? Okay. And can reach global targets in roughly 30 minutes. ICBMs are difficult to shoot down due to their immense speed, high altitude, and the use of multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles. Okay? Speed and range. That's what we're going over. Minuteman, difficulty and defense. ICBMs are hard to intercept because they travel extremely fast, follow a parabolic trajectory into space, and can release multiple warheads, along with decoys, making it difficult for defense systems to track and destroy all threats. Okay? So America's going to get hit. Boom. I'm sorry, boo-hoo. Treaties. While no treaty has totally banned ICBMs, they are limited and controlled by arms control agreements between the U.S. and Russia, such as the New START Treaty, which they just dissolved that. Okay? Then it goes into all of the Russian Sarmat capabilities, Korean nuclear weapons, the nuclear arsenal of the U.S. You see what I'm saying? The current strategic nuclear arsenal of ICBMs. I think this is the one of all the different nations, if I can find it. Won't let me go there. Okay, so there's gonna be no bunkers that you could go to, right? This thermonuclear destruction is coming, man. Okay, let's go to Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 36. Verse Verse 15. Let's start at verse 14. Fill Zion with unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning. And the people that the Most High has possessed from the beginning are the Israelites. Okay? That's who he's possessed. The chosen people of the Lord through Abraham's seed. He chose Isaac. There were two sons, Ishmael and Isaac, but he chose Isaac. Out of Jacob and Esau, he chose Jacob and put by Esau. Jacob became a great multitude. Esau became despised and small among the heathen and despised among men. Okay? That's what happened with the two brothers. Okay? And raise up prophets that have been in thy name. Reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. O Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, hear the prayer of thy servants, according to the blessing of Aaron over thy people, that all they which dwell upon the earth may know that thou art Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, the eternal power. Okay? And this is what he's doing in your face, by punishing your stupid ass for not doing what he told you to do. Okay? Let's go back to 2nd Ezra, because you people ain't listening, man. Okay? 2nd Ezra chapter 9. Right? Verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith. So faith and works go together. Right? Faith without works is dead, being alone. Right? Everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. So prayer alone isn't doing it. It doesn't cut it. You have to have faith, and you must show that you have faith by doing the work. Okay? Read your Bible every day. Get to know what the Lord wants for your life. You righteous women that are out there, rehearse the righteous acts. Get into obedience under your man. Now your man might be going off, but the Most High is going to separate you guys by death. Okay? So don't panic. He's going to separate you people by death, and he's going to send you to one of the righteous men. So this way you might be saved together. And leave everybody else here to be melted. Okay? Remember, the human body is made from the elements of the periodic table of all the elements of the earth, of what everything is made out of. Okay? Like it says, all the elements of the earth shall melt with fervent heat. Right? Let's go get it. 2 Peter, where was we at? 2 Peter chapter 3. Right? Verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, that's everything around your house, your car. We're showing you video of what the blast radius is. It's going to burn everything up, and wherever it's hitting over any major city, it's over. You're fucked. And then you got 1.8 kilometers out from that point. Okay. And then you got the blast radius, the electrical magnetic pulse, and then you have the nuclear fallout, the nuclear winter, as it's called. Okay, so you ain't got to worry about these chemtrails no more once that shit starts falling. You're going to die in cancer in less than 10 days. You're finished. You see? There's no escape from these weapons. These weapons are the weapons of the Lord's indignation. Okay? Let's go get it. Where's I at? Isaiah chapter 54. Okay? Verse 16. Right? Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. The Most High created Oppenheimer. He created, what's the guy? Albert Einstein with the theory of relativity. E equals mc squared. Blah, blah, blah. Right? Okay, that was able to allow these individuals to be able to split an atom. Okay? They split an atom and then they ignited a certain amount of uranium, and that uranium caused an explosion of such magnitude where they had fat man and little boy thermonuclear weapons, okay, missiles that they dropped over Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And that's just a downplay of what the destructive force of what these weapons are capable of today. Okay? Wow. Okay? That's 10 times to 100 times more powerful than anything that happened back in the 1940s that brought an end to the World War. Right? Where was I at? Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. Atomic weapons, thermonuclear weapons, right? I have created the waster to destroy. Okay, that is the instrument for the work that he did, blowing the coals in the fire, splitting the atom, right? And had the smith bring forth that instrument, which is the waster that destroys everything around it. And you watching video of it. Okay? So.
Or nowhere when the moment comes. This is the RS-24 Yars, Russia's road mobile and silo-based MIRV ICBM, built to survive, disperse, and put multiple warheads onto distant targets. Technically, the Yars is straightforward but dangerous. A solid-fuel 3-stage missile deployable from both road vehicles and hardened silos, with published ranges around 10,500 to 12,000 kilometers, and MIRV capability. Public reporting cites 3 to 4 warheads commonly, with some sources noting 3 to 6 as possibilities. Exact loadouts, yields, and operational doctrine are state secrets, which is precisely the point. Now, imagine one of those warheads arriving over New York City. For illustration, we'll use a representative approximate 300 kiloton warhead. The scene is immediate and apocalyptic. The fireball would gouge a 1 to 1.2 kilometer diameter crater at ground zero, vaporizing everything in its center, parts of Manhattan's core erased in an instant. A devastating blast overpressure that collapses reinforced buildings would radiate out to roughly 3.8 to 4 kilometers, flattening large swaths of Manhattan, parts of Brooklyn and Jersey City across the river, and crushing critical infrastructure.
So Daredevil, Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, the Avengers Tower, and all the motherfucking Avengers can't save you from the destruction of the weapons of the Lord's indignation. The destruction from the Almighty. Ain't no way you're going to be saved out of this. Okay?
The thermal pulse, the searing heat that causes fatal third-degree burns and ignites widespread fires, could reach roughly 6 to 7 kilometers, torching neighborhoods, fueling conflagrations across dense urban blocks, and overwhelming any firefighting response. Moderate blast damage and shattered glass would push well into the 10-plus kilometer band, sending lethal debris across boroughs, knocking out bridges and tunnels, and crippling transit and port facilities.
Okay? That's one of Russia's weaker weapons. They've got the Avangard thermonuclear missile. Okay? America can't stop it. It's moving too fast. It's got its own guided missile system. Okay? It avoids anything that was going to destroy it. It avoids it right away. Boom. Okay? Let's go to where was that? Joel chapter 2. Right? Joel chapter 2 verse 5. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. As a strong people set in battle array. Right? Verse 7. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. So you can't shoot them down. Okay? It's virtually impossible. We just read it. What did ICBM can do? You know, they've got decoy weapons. So it would be virtually impossible to stop the thermonuclear destruction. Okay. Okay. They shall run to and fro in the city. Where's city? The city. Babylon the Great, that great city. They shall run upon the wall, right? So they're going to pass all boundaries. They shall climb up upon the houses. Okay. So Washington, D.C., all of the major cities are going to get hit. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. Okay. And the windows up on heaven are on high, right? Like it says in Isaiah chapter 34, verse 3 and 4. Right? Let's go get that. I'm sorry about making this video so long, but I mean, I seen this video. I was like, what the hell? Oh, shit. Okay. Verse 4. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their host shall fall down as the leaf falleth from off the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, that great city, that city that shall run to and fro in the city, right? And upon the people of my curse to judgment. And the people of the Lord's curse to judgment are the Edomites, Idumea, which is Greek for Edom, right? Isaiah chapter 34, verse 8, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. It shall not be quenched day nor night, the smoke thereof shall go up forever and ever. From generation to generation shall it lie waste, and none shall pass through it forever and ever. Says the same thing in this book, right? Revelation chapter 14, right? Verse 10. Okay. Let's go, right? Verse 10. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Right? Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua. Right? And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, right, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yep, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Right? Revelation chapter 18, verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua hath avenged you on her. Okay? So, that's it, man. That's the destruction of Babylon the Great. That's the best I could do. Of course, I could do better. But I just don't have enough time. Okay? And 2/3 of our people are going to be left here and left here and melted, man. Like it says in where is that? In Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 20. Yep, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace being America, to blow the fire upon it, which are the weapons of the Lord's indignation, these intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? These arrows that should be shot to the ends of the world that shall not miss, right? To melt it, so will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. So the only way, that clue, like Elder Kazak made a video yesterday, I was on his live stream, okay? The only way out of this mess is up, okay? The Lord will leave you here and melt you. Yep, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof, and ye shall know that I, the Lord, have poured out my fury upon you. Okay? Right? Thou art the land that is not cleansed, nor rained upon in the day of indignation. Right? And the Lord, I'm telling you, man, the Lord, hey, he sees what our people are doing. They just hard-headed and stiff-necked, man. They just don't get it. Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 23, verse 19, right? Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, knowing not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering their most secret parts. Okay? He knew all things ever there were ever created, so also after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. Okay? This man shall be punished in the streets of the city where he suspecteth not, he shall be taken. Wow, that's crazy. Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in an heir by another. For first she hath disobeyed the law of the Most High, and secondly she hath trespassed against her own husband. And a lot of these women I've got a whole bunch of babies' daddies, right? And thirdly, because in the eyes of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, a woman is supposed to be with one man. An Israelite man can have as many women as he wants to under the law, but a woman is subject to that one man, period. And all these women here in Babylon the Great have been allowed to do whatever they want to. They go gadding abroad, doing whatever they like. Okay? Divorcing their husbands after years of being together, doing what they want to do, and going out there and having sex with Tom, Dick, and Harry, Willie Lunchmeat, and Sam Sausage, not taking into account of the consequences of individuals taking the jab back in 2020 under the COVID, Uno Nueve, right? Okay, and they took that jab, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation put out, okay, Moderna, Pfizer, whatever, okay, and these people are suffering the consequences of it right now. You see? For first she hath disobeyed the law of the Most High. Secondly, she hath transgressed against her own husband. And thirdly, she hath played the whore in adultery and brought in children by another man. She shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children. Her children shall not take root, and her branches shall bring forth no fruit. She shall leave her memory to be cursed, and her reproach shall not be blotted out. And they that remain shall know that there is nothing better than the fear of the Lord, and that there is nothing sweeter than to take heed unto the commandments of the Lord. Okay? Wow. That's deep, man. The Holy Spirit told me to just keep reading. Okay? That covered adulterous men and adulterous women having children by all these babies. Okay? And 2/3 of our women going to be cut off and die, like it says in what is it? It was in Isaiah 32, I think it is, verse 9. Right? Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail. Okay? So your EBT cards are going to be cut off, and then they're going to want you to have a digital ID. And the only way you can be able to have that digital ID is either on your phone or underneath your skin. Okay? So the vintage shall fail and the gathering shall not come. You won't be able to get as much money as you were getting per month, okay, under the new law that they're going to set up, because they don't want anybody to have the law, statutes, and commandments. They don't want you to keep them, but they want you to keep their law, statutes, and commandments here in America, Babylon the Great, okay? And they're going to cut your money in half that you were getting every month, right? So the vintage shall fail and the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Okay? And the women are complaining because they're getting laid off or fired from their jobs. They don't have any a way to get their extra money. Okay? And they're lamenting. They don't have a way to pay their bills. They don't have to wait a way to pay their utilities. They're getting put out in the street. They're living out of their cars, right? You see what I'm saying? So let's finish this up.
RS-28 Sarmat Russia's super heavy liquid-fueled ICBM, designed to carry massive payloads, MIRVs, and even hypersonic glide vehicles, is meant to be the capstone of Moscow's land-based deterrent. Public reporting about Sarmat's payload is blunt. Russia says the missile can carry up to 10 tons of payload and has been described in state sources as able to field up to 10 large 750 kiloton warheads, or many smaller warheads or glide vehicles, a flexibility that creates a terrifying upper bound for destructive power. Imagine one 750 kiloton Sarmat warhead arriving over Washington, D.C.
Look at that picture. Wow. Yes. Okay. It's not terrorism, terroristic threat, nothing. Just looking at the picture, making a personal comment. Ain't got nothing to do with anything. Okay. Just gotta love that picture though. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that and run right there. As a matter of fact, hold on, let me see. I'm gonna take me a screenshot. Fuck it. I'm gonna put this down here like this. And take me a screenshot. Fuck it.
Sure, taking a screenshot.
Yep, that's going to be the thumbnail on this video for sure. Okay, let me go over here to Lamentations chapter 4, verse 9. Okay. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. Right? The hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children, because women going to be out here eating and cooking their own food, and their food's going to be the children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. The Lord hath accomplished his fury, he hath poured out his fierce anger, and hath kindled a fire in Zion, and it hath devoured the foundations of the earth. Okay. Yeah, it's going to get bad, man. Ain't nothing we can do. Wait upon the Lord, right? Let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 8. Where was we at? Right? Verse 55. And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they trodden down his righteous, and said in their heart that there is no power, and that knowing they must die. As for the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them, for it was not his will that men should come to naught. But they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them. And therefore now is my judgment at hand. These things have I not shown unto all men, but unto thee and a few like thee. Okay? So the only people that are getting this video are individuals that the Most High wanted to get. Look.
Total vaporization at ground zero, about 1.2 to 1.5 kilometers in diameter. Everything at point-blank range is vaporized. Severe blast, most reinforced buildings collapse, about 4 to 5 kilometer radius. Downtown districts and hardened structures in the core would be catastrophically damaged. Thermal pulse, lethal third-degree burns or mass ignition, about 7 to 9 kilometer radius. Intense heat would ignite fires across broad swaths of the city and torch wooden suburbs. Moderate blast and fragmentation, or shattered glass, structural damage, and lethal debris, about 12 to 18 kilometer radius. Suburbs, transit corridors, and critical infrastructure would suffer widespread damage. Fallout and contamination. Wind and weather would carry radioactive contamination tens to hundreds of kilometers downwind.
Okay. See? So let me go, and I'm going to go to this last biblical scripture. I'm going to close out. Okay. Yeah. It's going to get bad, man. Where was I at? Let's go to Job chapter 11. Verse 20, I think it is. But the eyes of the wicked shall fail, and they shall not escape, and their hope shall be as the giving up of the ghost. Ha 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 ha. Hell yeah. Job chapter 20, verse 27. Okay, let's start at verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Who? Esau, Edom, upon Idumea, and the people of my curse to judgment. Remember? Verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, when he's about to push his new world order, right? When he's about to push mandatory micro C-hips for everybody through digital ID and universal basic income, which is the bribe to take the chip, right? The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, right? And the bow of steel shall strike him through. If you got a deep underground bunker in America, you're a fucking idiot. Okay? Because when that thermonuclear missile, it's not only going to hit the surface, it's going to melt in a kilometer. 1.5 kilometers in diameter. That's a complete circle, a complete circumference, a ball of fire. That means at the surface level, it's going to burn downward 1.5 kilometers, man. Then the heat, then the thermonuclear pulse. Then, man, come on, man. You're finished. It is drawn, it cometh up out of the body. Yep, the glittering sword cometh up out of his gall. Terrors are upon him, right? All darkness shall be hid in his